एक मिनट रुको रुको इसका लिंक में ज्वाइन करके तुम एक बार बोल देना ओपन करो तुम लाइव चलेगा ना अभी हाँ आप एक बार चेक करो है ना मैं बोलता हूँ हेलो हेलो
Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for that delay due to the technical glitch. So, uh, a warm welcome to all of you. We know the agenda for the session. We have with us Dr. Vinayak Rajat Bhat. He is, apart from being able to do a lot of things in the domain of Sanskrit and the domain of Indian knowledge system, he is also the co-author of the most popular book on Introduction to Indian knowledge system, which is also recommended by the government of India as a textbook for anybody who wants to either take research work in the field of Indian knowledge system or even uh, appear for the net examination in the subject of Indian knowledge system. So he was here with us for a project on thematic minor. Uh, his journey in academic circle has been very interesting. He has started his journey as a normal um, SSC, we call it SSC in Maharashtra board, SSC student till 10th standard, then decided I'll take up Sanskrit as my subject for my future research. So thereafter he joined the National Sanskrit University, that is at Tirupati, and completing his undergraduate and postgraduate, he earned his PhD, which is a combination of both technology and IKS. So maybe a right person to have with us today when we are talking about Indian knowledge system and artificial intelligence in the same breath. And uh, he is currently an associate professor at Chanakya University and a part of the Center for Indian Knowledge System at Chanakya University. He works with the Ministry of Education as a master trainer in the field of primarily Arthashastra, but also is a grammarian at heart. So we have with us Dr. D.D. Swai, and I would request sir to please welcome Vinayak ji for the gathering. Sir. Abhishek. Yeah. Thank you, sir. So without causing any further delay, I would hand over the mic to Vinayak ji. And he asked me what kind of language he will be using. and what kind of interaction he will be preferring. So for the first one, I said that let's go with a mix of Hindi and English both, and maybe in between, of course, he will have his own flavor of Sanskrit coming up. And for the second one, we said that let's. He preferred that it will be a discussion forum where, of course, we have some questions with respect to IKS, so we can ask him, and he will start introducing the concept, and maybe researchers, scholars, people who are interested with the subject, we can keep on asking subject related to IKS, and that will be our way forward. So it'll be a formal, semi-formal, more semi-formal, candid, professional, and academic discussion. So, sir, over to you. Thank you.
अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. Namaste. First of all, I would like to extend my gratitude to Sri Sri University and Bharat Dasji, who invited me to uh, disturb your vacations. I think you all had 3 or 4 days holiday hereafter, and I am really sorry that I am disturbing your holiday, taking 2 hours of your free time. Okay. So let me first share my experience how I entered into India. This phrase called IKS, the small abbreviation IKS. But IKS didn't start in India. People say IKS started in India. IKS started in Africa. What is IKS? We usually say IKS is Indian knowledge systems, but when it started, it was actually indigenous knowledge systems, which started. We never had to start it. They had to start it because it was actually getting destroyed. The knowledge system which they had, because of this uh, colonization and all, they had lost their civilization. They had lost their knowledge systems and all. So they wanted to revoke it. They wanted to bring it back. Luckily, we never had that problem. Just we needed one phrase to uh, maybe to bring or to make it more strong in our nation. So my journey started. My IKS journey started. The term IKS got attached to me in the year 2016. I was actually a Vyakarana. I was teaching Vyakarana, Samskrita Vyakarana, which is a part of Indian knowledge systems. But till then, Indian knowledge system was not that, it was not a buzzword. I was in Jammu. I was teaching there Vyakarana, pure Vyakarana, Samskrita Vyakarana. I was teaching Paninian Vyakarana. Once I got one email from Chinmaya Vishwavidyapeeth. They and Mahadevanji was going to be the vice chancellor. Professor B. Mahadevan from IIM Bangalore. I think you might have heard his name. So he was becoming vice chancellor there. They invited me, and I became a assistant professor there. Then Mahadevanji called me once into his cabin and said, initially he asked, how many, he just emailed to all the faculty saying, I want to start a course on Indian knowledge systems. 2 courses, Indian knowledge system part 1 and part 2. Who want to join me? He shared one Excel sheet. I thought it will be a very good experience to have the to share the or no to get the knowledge from Professor B. Mahadevan, who is a well-known face, and he is a vice chancellor of the university. It will be a very good experience, a learning experience to be with him. So I added my name. So after a month, he calls me. He calls the people who he selected 2 of us. There were many people who actually gave the name, but then he selected 2 of us. He called to his cabin. There he made us sit and said, see, today you might have heard this name for the first time, Indian knowledge system. But after 5 years, you'll keep listening this again and again and again. 2016, December, he said this. 2016, December, I still remember. You know, I was saying, सर बोलते हैं, ऐसे बहुत लोग बोलते हैं, बड़े बड़े चीजें बोलते हैं कि 5 साल बाद ये होगा, 10 साल बाद ये होगा। ठीक है, इन्होंने भी कुछ बोल दिया होगा, 5 साल बाद होगा, ठीक है, देखते हैं। So we started offering that course. When we started offering that course, he said, after 3 years, no, not after 3 years, yes, after 3 years, we will start writing a textbook on this. और एक मजाक, अगर ये क्या चल क्या रहा है, टेक्स्ट बुक, the background which I was coming, we are mostly the teach, we like teaching most, writing and all हमारी आदत ही नहीं थी, क्या टेक्स्ट बुक लिखना है, ये that सोच was there in my mind. So then ठीक है, he said 3 साल बाद हम लोग इस पे किताब लिखेंगे, इसलिए 3 साल कंटिन्यूस हमें ये सब्जेक्ट पढ़ाना है, क्योंकि जब तक हम इसे पढ़ाएंगे नहीं, बार बार इसके ऊपर रिवाइज नहीं करेंगे, एक अच्छा टेक्स्ट बुक नहीं आएगा, हमें ये टेक्स्ट बुक लिखना है, याद रखना ये। और ठीक है सर, ओके। उन्होंने बहुत मेहनत कराई, 6 महीने बाद ऑफर करना था कोर्स, 6 महीने पहले बोला तुम अर्थशास्त्र पढ़ोगे। कभी भी मैंने अर्थशास्त्र छुआ नहीं था, मेरे घर पे था किताब रखा हुआ था, बहुत सालों से वो धूल खा रही थी वो किताब। देन आई just took out that book just because he said you have to study Arthashastra, you are going to teach this. I studied whole of the Arthashastra. It is a very difficult text. The language of Arthashastra, just because I know Sanskrit does not mean that I can read Arthashastra and understand, because it's a political science text. With political science, it deals with economics. So there are many technical words in it which I could not understand so easily. So it took me 6 months to understand that text. Somehow I created few slides to teach. He came to the first session to teach. The first session was his. The way he prepared, it was mind like मुझे लग रहा था कि 6 महीने की मेरी पूरी मेहनत बेकार, ये ऐसे पढ़ा रहे हैं तो मैं क्या करूं। बट स्टिल आई हैड 15 days, डे एंड नाइट एक कर दिया, बहुत प्रयास करके मैंने एक सेशन बना लिया। I taught that one session, but then after that session he says, your session was very good, I want you to take one more session. That was just 3 days later. And somehow I did that happened. So 3 years passed. Suddenly one day, December 2020, Ministry of Education announces a division called IKS division, Indian Knowledge System division from Ministry of Education, which started in AICTE. Now, was this a new phrase? No. Kapil Kapoor ji, Dr. Kapil Kapoor, JNU professor, he actually had coined this 35 years ago. He said Indian knowledge system. He had conducted one conference. He also published one book. So first generation, we can say the first generation of Indian knowledge system started from Dr. Kapil Kapoor. He actually started that. But then that time it was not that flourished and all. Indian government was not supporting this act and all. So that thing was happening. But Indian knowledge system was there. There were more than 15 Sanskrit universities. There were many language universities, Tamil language university, Kannada language, Oriya language. There are many universities which were working on Indian concepts. Indian knowledge system was there, but not under the umbrella called IKS, Indian knowledge systems. It was there. We all were working on it. Then in 2020, AICTE mailed Professor B. Mahadevanji, called Professor B. Mahadevanji, ministry, and said that Ministry of Education wants you to write a textbook on Indian knowledge systems. Because soon, after an year and a half, we are going to ask all the engineering colleges to adopt this textbook and make a course on it. It was in the, when was Corona? 2020? 2020. Okay, so this was 2019. 2020 March, Corona started. 2019 October, this IKS division came into existence. So just 2 months ago, this IKS division, in January, AICTE approached Professor B. Mahadevan and said that we want a textbook. Professor B. Mahadevan ji said, okay. He came to, at that time he was in IIM Bangalore, he had left Chinmaya. He came to Chinmaya Vishwavidyapit, called me and one of my colleague, and said that, you remember once I told you that we will be writing a textbook? I said, yes, sir, I remember. This is the time. And I want you to be co-authors with me. It was like, when somebody, professor, vice chancellor, cadre, who has been a director for IIM Bangalore, who has been an advisor for many big companies, he is asking a small assistant professor of the university who doesn't know anything that come and be the part of this textbook. I was on a seventh sky. Satve Aswan pe. Sorry, this phrase is not in English. I have created it. So I was in a Satve Aswan par. I came home. Hey, Mahadevanji told that you must be the co-author of this book. I was very, but still, ठीक है, book बन गया, क्या होने वाला है? कौन सी बड़ी बात होने वाली है? बहुत लोग किताब लिखते हैं. Mahadevanji said this is going to be historical book. So जो मेहनत करनी है, उस that will not, whatever you are doing now, किसी काम का नहीं है. You have to do the another level of hard work you have to do there. ठीक है, हो जाएगा, आप हैं तो सब हो जाएगा. That's what I was thinking. Then we had a very good plan. We will be calling around 40 experts from different parts of the country. We will have a good workshop to finalize the content of the book. Lot of things were planned. Even the workshop was planned, and finally we got the information that Bharat band, lockdown. अब क्या करें? Lockdown, no university, no libraries. We cannot call experts to one place, and this online thing was still that dhundula sa tha online thing. We don't know online thing will work or not. Finally, we took the decision that we will start writing. We had 7 great experts of the field of Indian knowledge system from different areas, from different parts of the world, and they were reviewing our book. During Corona, whatever sources we got online, we collected all those and started working on it. And it took around 1.5, 2 hours, 2 years. Initially, we thought we will complete it in 1 year because we were planning that we will bring many people together, we'll ask them to write, but it did not work. We 3 had to write it. And we 3 came together, we wrote it, day and night we worked for it. Finally, after 1.5 years, the book came out. It's a very good book. This journey started like this. Now IKS, how it is going? That's how IKS division, now IKS division said, this is the book which will be the textbook for Ministry of Education, and IKS division said this will be textbook. The first starting starting phase of the textbook, which any university can use for teaching Indian knowledge systems. But that was just a starting point. Now what is happening? Then IKS division started giving many centers to different colleges. And now IKS division is saying we want textbook for each area which we have written in that textbook. In that textbook, there are 13 or 14, there are 14 chapters in that textbook. For each chapter, we want an elaborate textbook. That book is of somewhere around 600 pages. Now for each title, we need 600 pages. 2 things we had missed that IKS division has added later, and they had made it 16 thematic areas. So now on those thematic areas, textbooks are being written. There are many centers. There are many projects given. There's a lot of money there. And IKS division keeps, every 6 months, IKS division is asking to give the proposal, and IKS division is funding. So these are the things what is going on in the field of IKS. Now what is IKS? We are saying Indian knowledge system, we know. Anybody? What is Indian knowledge system? What is knowledge? Let's have interaction. I am not prepared for this lecture, so it's not a lecture. So instead of that, I want to learn more from you, because this IKS, some people say IKS is subject. IKS is not a subject. IKS is an umbrella where we have many subjects. Whatever got generated in India on different areas, if we have chemistry, physics, management, mathematics, medicine, whatever got generated in India with Indian methodology is called Indian thing. Or else everything is same. There is nothing called a subject called Indian knowledge system. I keep saying that even the NET exam for IKS is not a good practice, because one cannot be the expert of any knowledge systems. It's a big, huge thing. A single person cannot be the expert of, maybe one can be the expert of, we are in the age where one cannot be the expert of too many things. That was the age when one person could have been the expert like Kautilya and all. It's a very rare thing. But IKS is something where you have chemistry, where you have physics, mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, grammar, linguistics. One person studying all these things and writing NET and saying that I am the expert of Indian knowledge system, which is not possible. So UGC is on the wrong path. I told one of the Manish ji, I told him that UGC must think over this. Maybe they are thinking, they are actually working on this. So they are training the people in different areas. So maybe start discussion instead of too much of experience. My experience will not matter much in the discussion. So what is knowledge? Can we start with the term called knowledge? I know most of you are seniors here from me, so asking question is, I'm not asking question, it's my jijnasa, huh? Curiosity. Knowledge is knowing, okay, knowledge is knowing. Yes. I'm asking the definition of knowledge, not action. That what you are mentioning is action. What is knowledge? Yes. Collection of data. Okay. Okay. Good. Any other definition? Knowledge. That's again action. I'm asking what is knowledge? You are saying something which is action. I am asking what do you understand from the term called knowledge? I don't want the definition given by Chatur Ramalingam in Three Idiots. Maybe you can come up with the Phunksuk Wangdu's definition. That will be much better. Yes, sir. Sir, again, that's action. Maybe you can put it like that. The things which are analyzed and some result has come, that result is knowledge. Can we say that? Okay. Sir. Things which are known. Can we say the things which are known means that thing is knowledge? Thing is knowledge? No, if you say thing is knowledge, I will accept it, okay. But then you have to you have to say yes, thing is knowledge. Thing is knowledge? Subset, okay. Huh? Navanavonmesha pratibha, okay. Pratibha, sir, it's pratibha, okay. Navanavonmesha shalini is pratibha, that is talent. I am asking what is knowledge?
That talent,
Jnana.
that talent is with gyan is create a knowledge.
Huh.
If you without this gyan, how can create
No,
knowledge?
I understand that. I understand what you are saying is correct. I am asking what is jnana? Definition of jnana. Yes, for jnana you need pratibha. Information, yes.
Information can be translated to knowledge.
Okay. The information which gained by experience. Okay. Yes, sir.
Information can be translated into knowledge.
Information can be translated into knowledge. Yes. Okay.
And it is an we can say any epistemic system which is which comes through the experience can be called knowledge.
Yes. Okay. Fine. Okay. Yes, sir. Understanding of information. Understanding of information. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Okay. So, to be very frank, it's very difficult to define the term called knowledge. It's very difficult. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's very difficult to define the term called knowledge. Knowledge is of two levels. One,
That
yes,
you are telling that knowledge, that is Vishaya Vishay Indyartha Jnanam Sannikarsa Jnanam iti tatra also that's coming knowledge.
तत्सङ्गच्छते 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 ज्ञानस्य परिभाषात्वेन तत्सङ्गच्छते परन्तु the word knowledge is very difficult to define. We have in Sanskrit, we have different subjects give different types of definition for the term called knowledge. Okay, but what is knowledge when it comes? Yes, so we can say that. Yes. So we are getting different definitions. See, we got one definition in Sanskrit, we got few definitions in English. So we got several definitions for the term called knowledge. So what is knowledge? It's very difficult to say that this is knowledge, because what is happening, let me tell you. I'm not saying that there is no definition for knowledge. I'm saying it is difficult to define the term called knowledge. Is of two levels. One level is this level of knowledge where it keeps on changing every day, one thing which is getting updated. Before that, let me come to this. Every individual human being thrives for knowing what is happening around them. Like the sun is rising from the east and setting on the west, there is some air moving here and there. Why it is happening so? We are curious. We are curious every now and then. And that curiosity is leading to some exercise from our side. That exercise leads to some output. That output becomes knowledge. Am I correct? If there is something wrong, please let me know. Because this is what I understood till now. Yes, sir.
That is why I told Indriyartha Sannikarsa, that the object and subject that gains intellectually you have to think and collect some of the previous knowledge that you have to express in front of your audience. That's called a thimical knowledge. That is exactly in Pramana, in Nyaya Siddhanta
Yes,
also
yes,
it says.
yes.
That is Indriyartha Sannikarsa Janyam Jnanam.
Jnanam
Iti Sannipartyaksham iti tatreva Jnanam. That is knowledge. Without this nature, without this object, you cannot say that is exactly correct or not. The proof you have to give without your sense and organs.
Exactly, sir. But that is not only jnanam. You have jnanam through anumana.
No, that's like first step to pratyaksha. That is a first pratyaksha, then it goes to the anumana.
Pratyaksha most of the time may not be the
correct.
Yeah,
no, that's what I'm telling. If you just similarly, those are the not in this field, they can say that direct knowledge. Though do not know, they have to go to the anuman inference and sabda or the upamana.
Yes,
the first step to the pratyaksha. So go to the directly evidence of that.
Yes, that's why when you told, I agreed your point and said yes, that is the one of the definitions. Not really, sir. Not really. Yes, yes. That's why we have many pramanas to establish the knowledge. To prove the knowledge, those pramanas are required. To prove that this is knowledge, we need pramanas, which is the Indian way. That is pratyaksham, anumanam, shabda, upamana. There are many other pramanas. Puranas give 12 pramanas. Mimamsa gives 6 pramanas. Vyakarana gives 8 pramanas. So there are different pramanas which Samskrita texts give. So these pramanas establish the knowledge. Pramanas are used to establish the knowledge. What is knowledge?
Can I just pitch in the discussion? So because, and good, sir, congratulations, because you have started the discussion, and one of the most initially engaging part I have seen in this classroom with respect to when teachers are speaking. So good that, sir, you are interacting. Just, I'll just try to try my way of, or we both generally take lectures together. So my way of how looking at knowledge from a very, very what do you call layman term, because I am not a scientist of grammar or neither a person who knows the shastras. So it's very simple. Okay, see, most of the time when we are talking here, right, and many of you said that it is gaining, it is taking, it is sharing. Okay. So when we say that this is a process, as sir said, this is a process. This process is closely associated with the noun called education, because education comes from the word educate, which is a process. But when we say education or knowledge sharing, it is not the process. What gets shared is knowledge. So when we are discussing here, something gets shared. हमारे बीच कुछ share हो रहा है. What is being shared is knowledge. This entire process is basically information sharing, or generally called as education. Okay, so let's focus on the term knowledge. Knowledge तब तक पूरा नहीं होगा, नॉलेज का डेफिनेशन तब तक पूरा नहीं होगा लेमन टर्म्स में, जब तक हम ये डिफाइन नहीं कर ले नॉलेज अबाउट व्हाट. ओके, उसका जैसे आप कहते हैं ना, आपने कहा था एक ऑब्जेक्ट रहता है, देयर इज अ ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ नॉलेज. इन एग्रीकल्चर साइंस द ऑब्जेक्ट इज क्रॉप और लैंड और समथिंग. In management, it is management science, it is leadership, it is governance, right? So there should be some object of knowledge. So when I say I have knowledge, the next question will be kiska, right? Obvious question is kiska knowledge. So I have to define I have knowledge of certain thing. Let's say I have knowledge of machine gun. Okay, I have knowledge of machine gun. That means I am supposed to know the entire system, which is machine gun. How it operates, what is the size, what is the weight, what is the muzzle velocity, what is the recoil velocity, how many things goes on. तो वो मुझे जानना जरूरी है. So in every field, we are choosing an object which becomes the subject of our curiosity, through which we gain the understanding of that system, and then we can claim that we have the knowledge of that system. Make sense? So whether it is pratyaksha pramana, whether it is to anumana, whether, let's say for simple example, when you entered the classroom today, when you entered the classroom, the first thing that you did, you scanned the environment. You did? To figure out कौन कहाँ बैठा है, कितना chair खाली है, right? So what you are doing, you are taking a pratyaksha with respect to which is the right place to sit. How you are doing it? When you were interacting with the surrounding. So this system, this classroom became the object of your knowledge, and you try to gain that where to sit in this classroom, so that मैं थोड़ा छुपा हुआ रहूं, थोड़ा highlight ना रहूं, या फिर highlight रहूं, या फिर नहीं रहूं. You are doing it at the back of your mind, isn't it? You can do that differently also. आप यहाँ आए, आप यहाँ पे बैठ के गए और बोले कि हाँ विनायक जी बहुत अच्छा बोल रहे हैं, ठीक है, और फिर आप थोड़ा बाहर निकले और किसी को कहा कि अच्छा चल रहा है लेक्चर, तो बैठ सकता है. उसको भी वो नॉलेज मिला. वो पूछेगा कहाँ बैठ सकता है, थर्ड बेंच में बैठना, थोड़ा एसी कम लगता है या फिर ज्यादा लगता है. व्हाट यू आर डूइंग, यू आर ट्रांसफरिंग दैट नॉलेज व्हिच यू हैव गेन्ड थ्रू योरसेल्फ टू सम अदर पर्सन अबाउट अ सिस्टम, राइट? सो दैट बिकम्स अ paroksha praman, through which you will again you transfer, right? Now suppose this becomes a theory and you write every time, you know, the third row is the best row to sit to gain education or to gain knowledge. That becomes a principle, and now this principle gets passed on over generation and generation. People, third row mein baithna acha udhar. Now it is not pratyaksh, it's not maybe somebody's paroksh which has now become a principle, siddhant, right? And this no. Memory is an instrument of knowledge. Memory is not equal to knowledge. See, got your point, sir. When you say memorizing is one of the steps of retaining knowledge. It is not equal to knowledge. Knowledge is always about object. So when I say, let's say computer में जो hard drive है, it is containing the data. It is not processing the data, but that storing of data is equally important as processing the data. Unless you are able to process the data, you have the drivers, you have the software, you will not be able to store that data, right? So the driver, that software is equally important. और hard drive के पास data आया कहाँ से? कहीं से collect किया होगा, कहीं primary sensor से लिया होगा, कहीं store किया होगा. So it is a tool to gain and store data or store knowledge. But memorizing is not equal to knowledge. Okay, जैसे पतंजलि कहता है, योग सूत्र में क्या कहता है? Absolutely. Correct. Absolutely. Tools of knowledge. So exactly. Absolutely. Oh, okay. Okay, sir. Yeah, I got it. I got it. So let's wait for the system word to come in. Let's talk about knowledge first. So we are just on the knowledge. Knowledge system pranali technique hota hai. So you are right, sir. When you say huh, right. Yeah. So about something which was about something which, from which you get. Correct. Absolutely. Yeah. Correct. Yes, and slightly no. Yes, and slight. Okay, maybe sir will be the right person to address about. Yeah. हाँ, wisdom थोड़ा सा अलग हो जाएगा and as compared to knowledge.
So, as per my understanding about the term wisdom is, which I learned from my gurus and all. So, wisdom is something when you bring the knowledge into practice, and
Yes.
that becomes that knowledge
Yes.
becomes the practice. That's wisdom. For example, I know ethics. I can teach dharma for 2 hours, but I myself is not following dharma. Then that's not a wisdom. I don't have that wisdom of dharma. That's what he Duryodhana says. Janami dharmam nachame pravrittihi jana dharmam nachame nivrittihi. Kenapi devena hridisthitena yatha niyuktosmi tatha karomi. I know what is dharma, but I don't know how to get into that dharma, how to follow that dharma. I am not doing. My mind is not making me do that dharma. I know what is adharma, but I am forced to do that adharma. So he had the knowledge of dharma, but he did not have the wisdom of dharma. So that's the difference. What I have learned from my gurus, that this is knowledge is something which anybody can have, but wisdom is not something which everyone can have. So this is where we started. So like there will be many questions in our mind, and when that questions get answered, that answer is, and to establish that answer, as sir was saying, we need pramanas. Once that through pramanas we have established that some questions are answered, that becomes the knowledge. Just by saying today I ate that rasgulla and that rasgulla is making me Spider-Man, if I come and say without any pramana, nobody will accept it. That's not a knowledge. Okay. So this is, and some knowledge are like they are inbuilt. Naturally, it comes in animals, in child, in plants. Some knowledge are inbuilt. Animals, when they are like they are unhealthy or they feel ill, they just go and eat some grass and vomit it, and they get healthy. No animal is trying to find out why I am eating this grass, why this grass is making me vomit. They are not asking. They just know I have to eat it, I have to vomit it. Khatam. Similarly, the plants know how to make the chlorophyll, or what, photosynthesis, what do you call chlorophyll? Photosynthesis. Using sunlight, using the water, using the earth. It's a process, it is happening. The child, as soon as child takes birth, it knows how to cry. Mother is not teaching how to cry. Where this knowledge is coming from? So knowledge has two levels. One level knowledge which keeps on updating, like few years ago, if we all know that some about 3 or 4 decades ago, the that what is that called, the chemistry, they have on some periodic table, they had somewhere around 80 elements. Gradually those elements were getting updated because knowledge was getting updated. So there is some level of knowledge which keeps on updating. There is another level of knowledge which is we call Paramartha Satya, which never gets updated. Now, let me give you one small example. We have a big elephant, and there are 4 or 5 blind people. Andhagajanya, you might have heard about that. Huh. Hmm. Yes, yes. Correct. Yes. I wanted to say those Sanskrit words, but here I don't want to use because. Okay. So, uh, so there's two levels. So why I am explaining, when we say knowledge systems, systems means then a specific way of putting it in a proper format, proper methodology. When it comes, it becomes systems. We always say, even Kapil Kapoorji, who has coined this word called Indian knowledge system, now he is saying, I did a mistake by calling it Indian knowledge system. I could have called it Indian knowledge tradition. When we say Indian knowledge system, it restricts itself to the documented texts or scientific texts, because it need to have some system. But what about the knowledge which is there in our folklores, which are there in tribal practices? What about those knowledges? So to bring those knowledges into this system or into the practice, we must change this phrase as Indian knowledge tradition instead of calling it as Indian knowledge system. One thing which I want to specifically say, Indian knowledge system is not mere textual study. It's a practice. It's a lifestyle. What is happening these days, most of the time, Indian knowledge system is being taught, being researched. A lot of research papers are coming out that we know Indian knowledge system, but practice part is just kept aside. Uh, there are some institutions which are actually following Indian knowledge systems, the Indian knowledge practices they are doing. Okay, now what is the difference between Indian knowledge system? Why Indian knowledge system? All these questions we have. Let's have one big elephant. There's a big elephant. There are 3 or 4 blind peoples. I'm giving this analogy to make some concept, to share some concept with you. So there's a huge elephant. There are 3 or 4 blind people. Since childhood, they are blind. So they were asked to define the elephant. This story you might have heard this. So one goes and touches the tail, says, elephant looks like the snake. Another goes and touches its stomach, elephant looks like a wall. Another person says, elephant looks like touches the leg and says, elephant looks like a pillar. So there are different definitions which they gave. Similarly, every knowledge stream, whether it's a medicine, whether it's a physics, astronomy, mathematics, whatever, this whole world is the set of blind people. Okay, blind people means we researchers are always blind. I think we will accept that. Okay, we are touching one part of the elephant. For example, let me take medicine. The Western medicine system touches one part of the medicine and says, this is what medicine is. For example, what is a body? Western medicine system, they say body is the collection of or made up of elements. Indian medicine system, they are touching another part of the elephant and saying medicine system, body is nothing but something which is made up of Pancha Mahabhutas, 5 gross elements. Similarly, about cure, Western medicine system says, cure, how can one be cured? By giving these elements. Whatever elements is lacking, if magnesium is lacking, let's give magnesium, calcium is lacking, let's give calcium. But Indian system sees in another way. They say, no, this is how the cure should be. Adhibhautika, Adhyatmika, and there are different 3 levels of system. So in that system, they give medicine. So this is why I am putting this elephant thing, because knowledge system differ because of 2 major reasons. One is epistemology and ontology. Another one is Desha, Kala and Prakriti. Desha, place, Kala, time, Prakriti means nature. Ontology and epistemology, their ontology is different, our ontology is different. How we see the padartha, how we see the thing, or how we see the action will be different. How they see the action, that will be different. That's why the medicine system differs. Similarly, their pramanas and our pramanas are different. The way of epistemology, their epistemology is different, our epistemology is different. That's why the knowledge system differs. Our Desha Kala and Prakriti is different, their Desha Kala Prakriti is different. So, again, the knowledge differs. We are not here to say that only Indian knowledge system is best, their knowledge system is bad. No, every knowledge system is best, but depends where you want to use which knowledge system. Why are we trying to encourage Indian knowledge system? Let me give you some few examples. Ayurvedic example, maybe I'll give you example in this way. Ayurveda says the Maida related foods are Guru Ahara, heavy. It's not easy to digest. But any heavy Ahara, it gets easily digested in a cold region. Okay, it gets easily digested in cold region. So whatever pizza, burger, whatever Maida related stuffs, or another thing, whatever grows in that place, that is good for that person. Seasonal fruit, you might have heard, seasonal food is good for health. Non-seasonal foods are not good. संतरे को अगर गर्मी में खाएंगे, लोग बोलते हैं संतरे से सर्दी होती है. नहीं, संतरे को अगर गर्मी में खाएंगे तो सर्दी होगी. संतरे को अगर सर्दी के समय में खाएंगे, जिस काल में संतरा होता है, तब कुछ नहीं होता है. That it will give vitamin C, which is very much important. And this, when I was speaking about this Maida related food, it's good for them because most of the places where this Maida related food is eaten, they're cold regions. But when it comes to India, it's not that easy to digest those foods. That's why we never said that these foods are good. We are not saying these foods are bad. It's for them, it might be good. One experience which I would like to share. Some of my friends came from Rajasthan to Tirupati. Now see, two places. Tirupati also has 45 to 50 degrees Celsius heat in summer season. Rajasthan also will experience such a heat in summer season. They came to Tirupati. We who were there in Tirupati, we warned them, please don't eat chapati here. It's not good for your health here. Nobody listened us. अरे यहाँ की गर्मी 45 डिग्री तो हमारे राजस्थान में भी 45 डिग्री गर्मी पड़ती है. That's what the statement they gave. We said, okay, ठीक है, खा लो. 2 दिन खाया, तीसरे दिन उनके सबके नाक से खून बहने लगा. We had to take them to hospital because the heat which is generated in Rajasthan, the heat which is generated in Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh is different. The Prakriti of Rajasthan is different. The Prakriti of Tirupati or Andhra Pradesh is different. So when in India itself we have so much of change, how can we expect something which is happening in the West is good for us? I'm not saying everything is bad. There are some very good inventions happened. Like antibiotic is a very good invention. It's like boon for humankind. Antibiotic, but for every small disease, if we take antibiotic, that is wrong. So that's why we are pressing Indian knowledge system is we are Indians. So for whatever knowledge system is created is based on the Desha, Kala and Prakriti of this land. The people here, some experience like in few universities, if somebody is coming from Western country, he is becoming a vice chancellor of that university. How will that university be? They will try to impose Western practices here. They will say 70 घंटे काम करो भैया. क्या हम काम कर सकते हैं? हमारे इस भारत में 70 घंटे यूनिवर्सिटी में काम करने को बोलेंगे. Can we do that? Some might do, but if it is universally it is applied, how will it be? That practice there, it might work because they have some 3 or 4 months of winter where they will have snow falling and all. हमारे यहाँ ऐसा नहीं है. हमारे गर्मी सर्दी सब बराबर बटा हुआ है. तो हम लोग उसको एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर सकते वहां का रूल यहाँ पे ले आइए. That will be difficult for us. So something depends. Even Chanakya says, timetable of Chanakya has created a very beautiful timetable for a Raja, where he says a king should sleep only for 4.5 hours. Then he writes, देश काल प्रकृति को ध्यान में रखते हुए राजा निर्णय ले कि उसकी दिनचर्या कैसी हो। और ऐसे देश में रहता है जहां रात ही ना होती हो तो सोए कि नहीं वो, जहां रात ही रहती हो हमेशा, वहां क्या करे? रशिया जाएगा, वहां 2 महीने तो रात ही होती है, वहां क्या करेगा? अंटार्कटिका में राजा बन गया कहीं जाके, क्या करेगा? 6 महीने सोएगा? No, depending upon desha kala prakriti, you have to modify. Even Chanakya says that, Charaka says that, Ashtanga Hridayakara Vagbhata says that, depending upon the desha kala and prakriti, we have to, all the practices, not only health practices, social practices also, we might have to make the modification depending upon the desha kala and prakriti. So that is why we need IKS, Indian knowledge system. That does not mean we should leave all other knowledge systems. We must integrate, like today I was saying, sir, we were talking in his room. So we were saying that Indian knowledge system must merge with other knowledge system in few years, that we must remove this term called Indian knowledge system. It should merge like salt and water. Now it is like oil and water. Now it is just everyone is trying to say that ये देखो भैया मेरे इसमें मॉड्यूल में एक इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम का है, दिखा रहे हैं हम। दिखाना नहीं है, उसको पार्ट बनाना है, पूरी दुनिया उसको फॉलो करे, इस तरह से कुछ प्रयास हमें करना है। That is IKS. Any doubt? Questions?
Any specific question with respect to your area of work or maybe the research that you want to do or something? With it's
terminology used for the best of this topic.
Yes.
That you can, if you explain, abhyas, vitpatti, and pratibha. There are three terms according to knowledge. So how to create, how to a practice, the practice of the subject area. That is one of the, again there are particular knowledge.
Yeah.
That is also one of the abhyas. That is from beginning there is not the previous the guru and all. They can come to university and school, they have to get some knowledge. That is also abhyas. Then vitpatti also from the childhood, also some the guru and connection of the others. The pratibha also the previous bath of that sanskar. That's also pratibha. The three things knowledge also created. That is, I think, this is conclusion of that. Thank you.
Yes, he's very well said. Abhyasa, Vyutpatti and Pratibha is very important for gaining knowledge and protecting it. It's very important. Chanakya, even in Vyakarana, when we were discussing about the Pramana, Vyakarana gives one Pramana as Abhyasa. Abhyasa is very important. Even it is said that the person who is not doing abhyasa of Vyakarana for 1 month, he is Avayyakarana. The person who is not doing abhyasa of Nyaya for 1 day, he is Anayyayika. He is not an Nayyayika, means Nyaya Shastra. So abhyasa is considered to be one of the very powerful weapon for the academicians especially, and also for others, because regular practice is required to become efficient in any subject or skill. I think we all agree with this. Then he says Vyutpatti. Vyutpatti is like after having abhyasa, you get that skill. Vyutpatti has several meanings. I think he will also agree. Vyutpatti has several meanings. In Vyakarana, the word Vyutpatti means derivation. Every word has its own Vyutpatti. Okay, but here the word Vyutpatti has something else, that you getting skill, you getting developed through your abhyasa. And that abhyasa and Vyutpatti leads to Pratibha, gives you a specific talent. You become authority on that thing. Now, if we have to ask something, who is the authority of Sanskrit thing in your university? You will show his face. He is the authority because he has that Pratibha. You'll show him that whatever questions we will ask him related to Sanskrit, he will come back and answer us because of his abhyasa and vyutpatti. Because he has done so much of abhyasa in his shastra, then he led it to the vyutpatti part, then he got that pratibha of language. So this is very important. Yes, I agree with him.
Yeah, just a clarification. Are you equating knowledge with the intelligence?
No.
Because when you are talking about a food, okay, my body can integrate one food, and maybe his body cannot integrate because he's from a different location.
Hmm.
So when I'm saying so, that means my body knows, okay, what to eat and what not to eat, because that is a biological intelligence which is
Correct.
telling me not to eat this and eat this one.
No, I'm
Okay,
not saying
and it is
knowledge is equal to
there is
intelligence.
no
Yes.
requirement of knowledge. Okay, you no need of just telling me that this is the food you have to eat, because my body allows that.
Correct.
And if my body does not allow, then I will not eat that. And if I am eating, then probably I am going against the intelligence of my body.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
so then what is the requirement of knowledge here? And
No, because now you understand, but every individual might not understand this. But my,
no, sir, it is
uh,
not about understanding. It
hmm.
is about my bodily response to the food, my
I
bodily
understand. Yes.
response to the atmosphere.
Hmm.
Okay, it is, there is no need of just outside knowledge which will make me understand that this food is wrong for me, because my body knows that. Okay, the same,
Uh,
suppose if I'm telling ki I am eating a mango and the monkey is eating mango. Okay, both are not doing, or both biological intelligence not functioning the same way.
hmm.
Okay, the the monkey is eating the mango and the mango is becoming monkey in monkey's body,
Hmm.
but it is becoming me in my body.
Correct.
Okay, because we two have two different intelligence in our body.
Correct.
Okay, so probably we do not need this knowledge which is coming from outside to know whether my body requires this or not.
Okay.
uh, yeah.
Okay. Fine. Just I'll. You want to answer him? No. So I will just answer him. Then I'll get back. Okay. Uh, I agree with your point that when it comes to us, we know that, oh, this is good for me, this is bad. Do you think really we know this is good for me, this is bad for me?
No, just
Sometimes
just a second.
experience leads to it.
Yeah.
Okay, but again and again when you experience it, you say, this is not good for me. That experience lead to something. What is that? That is knowledge. I'm not saying intelligence. Intelligence is creating that knowledge.
No, what my point is ki this epistemic system is probably subservient to the biological intelligence, because we gather knowledge or we gather the experience, then the knowledge comes.
Yes.
Okay, because
Yes.
suppose I am
Correct.
talking about the Indian medicine system,
Exactly.
then I need to understand in this way ki how my body is responding to that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, because suppose I am taking neem ka patta,
Hmm.
तो नीम का पत्ता मैं खाऊंगा और नहीं खाऊंगा तो ये मेरा बॉडी के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है.
सही
क्योंकि
हाँ.
if I am just putting this in this way कि the neem ka patta, if I am just consuming, this disease is going to vanish, then probably it is wrong. Okay, we cannot present this idea in a very generic way. Okay,
correct.
so the point is कि because the body type differs.
Exactly.
So the biological system differs from one person to the other. Okay, so there is no, like, it is not required ki any particular system which is very much established, okay, will fit into my body and the same way it will fit into SARS body. Okay, so the knowledge will always vary, and I do not need any knowledge to just understand or to make my body respond to the thing that I am consuming.
But what will happen if every individual start experimenting everybody without knowing? See, now let me finish. Then you.
Sir, yeah,
Okay.
please, yeah.
So if everybody says that I will experiment, and according to that experiment I will work in my life, so without knowing what is neem, every person will start consuming neem without knowing which is the visha vriksha, which is amruta vriksha. Understanding terms?
Yes,
No?
yeah.
I want to experiment with this visha, how it works. I will die. Because I don't know what that is doing, because there is no knowledge system is available which is telling me that this herb is poisonous. Nobody is there to tell me, because knowledge does not exist. For your body it might be poison, my body it might not work like a poison. Let me eat, and if we die.
No, that thing actually comes from a very non-lithic,
So
non-lithic systemic organized
finish.
knowledge.
So Ayurvedic text is not focusing on every individual. It's giving you general informations that this is this. But every doctor, well, I'll finish, sir. But every doctor has to see the prakriti of the individual before suggesting any herb. It's not like if you have a fever, we have 20 people here, 20 people are getting fever, every individual is given dolo. It does not work like that in Indian medicine system. Every Prakriti, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, there are three doshas. Each dosha, you work like RGB, a computer language, red, green, blue. So each body is like RGB. Everywhere Vata, Pitta, Kapha differs. Based on that, a doctor analyzes your daily routine, and based on that, the medicine is suggested. Not just because I have taken the book for Jwara, it's given to you.
No, no, I'm interpreting. That is only one word. That is called Bruddha Vyavahara. So
Exactly.
the term is Bruddha Vyavahara means before you are taking some leaves or some of the medicines, you have to ask doctor or your ancestors or any knowledgeous person, because you are kid, you are small, you do not know about this nature. Maybe you are child, if a small kid, if you want to take something else, some limb pattar, before you have to ask my parents, then he or she can suggest it will be good for your health or not. That is Bruddha Vyavahara.
Yes.
Before that you have to ask. Others, the Shastra is different. First of the Bruddha Vyavahara.
Uh, I just want a small request for all of you. Do stay with the question, okay? And especially
Yes.
students who are taking down notes over there. Do stay with the question. Is there a difference between knowledge and intellect? Just stay with the question. Okay, it's not a question that can be answered in one way or from one person. Do stay with the question. Is there a difference between knowledge and intellect? And when we are saying knowledge transfer, is it only happening through oral medium, or also there is an intrinsic biological medium through which the knowledge gets coded and gets transferred, which later on can be called as intellect? Stay with the question. Okay.
I think knowledge is taken through two sources. One is explicit, another is implicit. Explicit is basically numerical structure, process, data, and implicit is basically the experience. That's what. So one is intangible, another is tangible, and that's how you do the knowledge. And second thing is, sir is right. Like intelligence is basically memory. Like how see our body remembers from its memory. Like what happened 1,000 years back, and that's how my nose is designed. So my anatomy is designed. So intelligence is basically the memory this body is having, and so that's what I understood. Explicit is structure, numericals, numbers that you have to study to become a good student, good teacher through textbooks and structural learnings. And implicit is the experience you carry. And that's what I have understood, and rest of interesting discourse.
Yeah, thank you. This is my understanding. Don't take it otherwise. This is my personal knowledge which I carry about the knowledge, definition of the knowledge. This is how I have been trying to consolidate while I was discussion was happening. Knowledge is invariably, it is both qualitative and quantitative information and also data, which is accumulated over a period of time and which can be explained through reason. That is the knowledge. Over a period, it is accumulated, that can be explained. And also, wisdom is also knowledge which cannot be written up or explained with plausible reasons. Wisdom is also knowledge which is accumulated over a period of time through the experiences we gain. That is also kind of knowledge which we cannot explain with in a formal way. That is also there. When it comes to difference between knowledge and intellect, they are totally different. Intellect can be improved to some extent, not beyond it, because it is intrinsic and it is genetic in nature. It's generic. It belongs to each individual. It is different from individual to individual. But the knowledge can be improved through intellect also. And intellect can be improved to certain extent. That's the reason the IQ values. That's what, you cannot change it to the larger extent. That can be modified to some extent. So usually knowledge is accumulated over a period of time and which can be explained with some reasoning. It can be either information. Information is very qualitative in nature, and if it is also in the data, it is more quantitative in nature, so that we can explain the knowledge in the best possible way. When it comes to indigenous knowledge, which is translated to Indian knowledge, I would prefer to use it as indigenous because it is universal in application, because this knowledge is carried from generation to generation, which is with the people living in different geographic regions. I would prefer to use it as indigenous rather than Indian. Okay, Indian becomes more specific to this country only. So indigenous knowledge is simply, mostly, it is wisdom based. Wisdom based, and it is accumulated for a longer duration over a period. That knowledge, what is with the people or the community, either it's the tribals or the whatever the community or culture based knowledge also is there. Just because it is accumulated for a longer duration, which can be explained to certain extent, and some wisdom based knowledge cannot be explained, and this is my personal way of looking at it. Yeah.
No.
That's called memetics, learning from, you know.
Yeah, very well put. Correct. Yes. True, true, true. Yes. Okay. So maybe
He has a question there. Yeah. Yes.
I think she also has a question. Yes. Okay. Okay.
Wouldn't that be very confusing? How do we integrate it? Because how will we
See,
apply if
there are few things which are universal in nature. Okay, integration does not mean everything, whatever जो भी मिल गया उसको सबको जोड़ के चले जाओ. That will not work as integration. We never say integration means जो भी आ गया सब लाके डाल दो, integrate कर दो. ना, it will not work. We were discussing in commerce, it's very difficult to bring something from Indian knowledge and integrate. We have been discussing this for long. It becomes very difficult. Okay, so we have to think what is very universal which can be applied throughout the world. So when I and Bharatji, we keep traveling on discussing the concept of Arthashastra, there are some concepts which are universal in nature. Like there are upayas. You might have heard the upayas, Sama, Dana, Bheda, Danda. This started from the time of Kautilya. Even before that, Mahabharata time, it has been it is in text, it is there. You know, from the time of Ramayana, from the time of Mahabharata. But do you think it was not there before that? People never practiced Samadana, Bheda, Danda. It is something which is universal. Without knowing, we घर पे हो रहा है ये. अगर तुम पढ़ाई नहीं करती हो तो माता जी क्या करती हैं? पहले क्या करती हैं? समझाती है, बेटा प्यार से पढ़ लो, कुछ अच्छा हो जाएगा. फिर भी नहीं पढ़ते तो पिताजी आके क्या बोलते हैं? पढ़ लो, साइकिल दे देंगे, एप्पल का आईफोन दे देंगे. हाँ, फिर भी नहीं पढ़ते, फिर क्या करते हैं? नहीं पढ़ोगे ना, मैं ये आईफोन किसी और को दिला दूंगा, बड़े भाई को दिला दूंगा. फिर भी नहीं करते, फिर चपेट लगता है. तो दिस प्रैक्टिस, दिस इज समथिंग व्हिच इज यूनिवर्सल प्रैक्टिस. ये प्रैक्टिस क्या होता है कि इसको इन नाम से वहां नहीं है, कहीं दूसरी जगह पे इन नामों से उसको नहीं. तो लेट अस इंटीग्रेट दिस, शो दैट दिस कैन बी यूज्ड इन द मैनेजमेंट, दिस कैन बी यूज्ड इन पॉलिटिकल साइंस. ये कुछ यूनिवर्सल कॉन्सेप्ट्स कुछ होते हैं जो हर जगह हम यूज कर सकते हैं. और कुछ चीजों को हमें यूनिवर्सल, हम लोगों का प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है, इवन हम लोग जब संस्कृत पढ़ रहे थे, हम लोग शुरू में जब पढ़ रहे थे तो हम लोग वर्णाश्रम धर्म को हमेशा पुराने कॉन्टेक्स्ट में ही देखते थे. वर्णाश्रम धर्म अभी हम नए कॉन्टेक्स्ट में ऑफिस में देख सकते हैं. आश्रम ले लेते हैं, इंटर्न के लिए जो आते हैं, सारे इंटर्न्स हमें ब्रह्मचर्य आश्रम वाले होते हैं, कंपनी में सीख रहे होते हैं. वहां से नेक्स्ट लेवल जब जाते हैं, परमानेंट हो जाते हैं, तो गृहस्थाश्रम में एंटर होते हैं. फिर वहां से रिटायर होके वो एडवाइजरी बोर्ड में बैठते हैं, वहां होते हैं वानप्रस्थ. फिर नहीं, मुझे एडवाइजरी भी नहीं चाहिए, मैं घर पे बैठूंगा, मैं तपस करूंगा, वो होता है संन्यास. ये यूनिवर्सल कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं. हम लोग जब भी एक घोड़े की तरह ये लगा कर देखेंगे ना, तो हमें वो यूनिवर्सल कॉन्सेप्ट दिखाई नहीं देंगे. तो वी हैव टू सी समवेयर, वी हैव टू सी यूनिवर्सल कॉन्सेप्ट, एंड for the present day how we can use it. Sometimes some concepts are always universal, जैसे सामदान भेद दंड हो गया, सप्तांग हो गया, सेवन एलिमेंट्स ऑफ द स्टेट हो गया, 6 फॉरेन पॉलिसीज हो गए. फॉरेन पॉलिसीज सिर्फ फॉरेन पॉलिसीज इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस के लिए नहीं है. हमारे यहाँ नेबर, हर नेबरिंग कंट्री इज लाइक योर शत्रु बोलते हैं चाणक्य. आपके नेबर्स भी आपके शत्रु ही होते हैं. कचरा आप वहां डालो, डांटेंगे नहीं. वो आपके घर पे कचरा डालेंगे तो आपको गुस्सा नहीं आएगा. That's how it works. तो लैंड्स, हमेशा लैंड्स में भी जो भी नेबरिंग लैंड होता है उसके साथ झगड़ा होता ही है. होना है बोल के कंपलसरी नहीं है, बट किसी भी वक्त हो सकता है. वहां का ओनर बदल गया तब हो सकता है, आज नहीं हो रहा होगा, कल ओनर बदल जाएगा तब हो सकता है. पॉसिबिलिटीज हैं. तो ये सब जो है यूनिवर्सल कॉन्सेप्ट्स. No, I'm not mapping it. I'm saying it, this concept is something which you can see with this angle also. that was changing also, sir. Changing also. Even once there was time when Veda says some other, the Veda gives some other interpretation, then gradually it moves to Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, we are saying that Guna Karma Vibhagashaha, based on Guna Karma and Vibhaga, the Varna must be seen. Yes. Yes, in business, no, in society, let it be there. We can use it. See, Professor B. Mahadevan. Huh. Huh. Yes. Huh. We need not map. We need not map. Yeah. Let me give you one example, sir. Why I am trying to map this ashrama part, retirement part. There's one research some research has happened from IIM Bangalore. They were working on Vanaprastha concept. They said in the business field, if one is not going into Vanaprastha, they took many case studies and said, if the owner is not going into Vanaprastha, that whole business is getting destroyed. Yeah, you can say it. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. We are not saying that Vanaprastha must be used. I'm saying concept is there. No, I understood, sir. Your question I understood. So we need not use that word. We need to take that concept. Word we are using because we have that word, so we are remove that word. No problem. Let's say retirement. That's fine. But we are saying that in Indian system, we had something called Vanaprastha, which can be used as a retirement, which most of you are not taking. What is happening if you are not taking? This is the problem. If you are taking Vanaprastha or retirement at the correct age, which our ancient texts or ancient practices are explaining us, that will lead to good health of the society. That's all. Yes. Yes.
Everything is here. Torm also English name also added. Nothing changed. Only for Torm marriage and study also English name. Other things are the same things here.
Sir, rather than asking question, I want to just learn from you by exchanging few dialogues. First of all, my name is Swastik Tripathi, a student of MBA second year. Sir, is this statement of mine correct that knowledge is created through a agile process, mostly through experimental research design? Is this statement correct to what extent, or if it's wrong?
Can you please repeat once?
Knowledge.
See, my English is poor.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
So, thoda simple.
I'll be slow. Creation of knowledge is a agile process.
Yes, till this is correct. Okay.
Mostly through experimental research design.
Yes.
Is this statement of mine?
Not mere experimental research.
Experimental research design, cross-sectional research design.
Sometimes experiential also comes into practice when we are saying knowledge.
Pardon?
Experiential part is also to be added. Analytical, experiential, and experimental.
So just like as sir told that if I am eating something which is not good for my health, that same things is that knowledge is gained from experience.
Yes,
because
again and again and again when he is eating mango, sun different days, and he is finding that same thing is happening. Then
because a child puts anything in its mouth, like let's say a pen or a book. So
you have to.
But
yes.
So just like a blind person analyzing the elephant
as sir also told, that we gain knowledge from our ancestors or the older people who have already touched the elephant and knew what it is specifically. So that experience is what creates the knowledge. So
Yes. And there are two ways of looking knowledge. One is, yes, creating part, but there's another way of looking knowledge. Knowledge can never be created. It already is a philosophical part. Knowledge already exists. We just see it. That's the philosophical, but don't get into it.
we still have error in lot of
Don't get into it. Hmm. You can say something else. Yes. You can say it is snake. Yeah. Yes. Indeed.
Sir,
Yes.
so if you allow, I have a simple question related to IKS. I'm a student of history, and I consider that we have been under colonial effect from a long time. तो अभी हम लोग क्या कोशिश कर रहे हैं, यहाँ पे उनकी सिविलाइजेशन उनके घर में भी पली बढ़ी थी, हमारी वाली हमारे पले बेटा हम 5000 साल से हम भी जी रहे हैं, वो अपने हिसाब से जी रहे थे। उन्होंने हमें आके सिखा दिया कि हाँ भी हमारा वाला सही था, तुम्हारा वाला पता नहीं हमें। अभी हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं IKS के थ्रू कि अपना वाला एस्टेब्लिश करके लाइब्रेरी में एक अलग से सेक्शन बनाए। IKS ये इंडियन वाला खाली है, और जो यूनिवर्सल चीज़ों की आप बात कर रहे हैं वो तो उनके यहाँ भी जो थी वो हमारे यहाँ भी वही है। अब साम दाम दंड भेद, उनके यहाँ कुछ और भाषा में बोलते होंगे, चीज़ वही है। तो ये 2 चीज़ों को छोड़ के और कोई तीसरा फ़ायदा है तो कृपया करके मुझे बताएँ।
मतलब
इस दोनों को छोड़ के और फायदा बड़ा benefits of
मैंने IKS के बारे में आपने बोला है ना कि
हाँ।
हाँ भाई इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम को इंडिजिनस सर ने इंडिजिनस शब्द का इस्तेमाल किया, या आपके जो गुरु थे उन्होंने बोला है कि मुझे सिस्टम शब्द नहीं डालना चाहिए था, कुछ और शब्द ट्रेडिशन शब्द डालना। तो चलिए जो भी है, तो अभी की पूरी जो कोशिशें लगी हुई हैं ये सारी की सारी, मुझे ऐसा लगता है हिस्ट्री के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से हमें कॉलोनियल इफेक्ट में रहे। उन्होंने हमें सिखा दिया अरे यहाँ ज्ञान हुआ था, विज्ञान हुआ था, तुम्हारे पता नहीं कुछ था कि नहीं। अब हम बच्चे बड़े हो गए हैं, हमें लगता है कि अपना वाला ज्ञान जो है उसको किताबों में भर के बढ़िया से सजा के लाइब्रेरी का एक अलग सेक्शन बनाते हैं, इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम।
सही बात है।
ये एक चीज। दूसरी आपने बोली यूनिवर्सल पार्ट। अब यूनिवर्सल चीजें तो भाई उनके यहाँ जो है हमारे यहाँ भी वही है। आपने वो बोला कि पड़ोसी आपका शत्रु होता है, वॉर नाम की किताब में 1st सेंचुरी में तो वो चाइना वालों ने भी लिख दिया था ये बात, हमने भी लिखा, चाणक्य ने, अंग्रेजों ने भी कहीं ना कहीं लिखा, अमेरिका वालों ने भी, पता नहीं वो पैदा भी होते तब। तो ये जितनी भी सिविलाइजेशंस थी अपना अपने हिसाब से इवॉल्व हो रही है, ना हम मरे हैं ना वो मरे हैं, ना उनकी सिविलाइजेशन खत्म हुई है, तो हम भी जिंदा है 5000 साल से, वो भी अपने घर में। तो ये जो लाइब्रेरी के अलग सेक्शन बनाने के अलावा कोई और फायदा है यूनिवर्सल वालों को छोड़ के, लाइब्रेरी बनाने के छोड़ के कोई तीसरा फायदा है तो मुझे बताइए, मेरा थोड़ा ज्ञान बढ़े।
प्रयास करता हूं सर, मैं ये नहीं बोलता हूं कि मैं ऑथेंटिक आपको दूंगा। तीसरा फायदा जो मैं देख रहा हूं, जैसे कि मैं बोल रहा था, देश काल प्रकृति एक रोल प्ले करती है हमारे जीवन में। हम जिस देश में रहते हैं, यहाँ की जो लाइफस्टाइल है, यहाँ जिस तरह से हम जी रहे हैं, या यहाँ के लिए क्या सही है क्या गलत है, ये वही, हाँ वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, इसीलिए चाहिए बस, और कुछ नहीं। और क्या करेंगे आप इन 3 के अलावा, और क्या करेंगे आप? हाँ वो भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ना, आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस चल रहा है आजकल। हम हमारी आइडेंटिटी नहीं बता पा रहे, हम भारतीय बोलने के लिए क्या बताएं कुछ। एक जब मैं कॉलेज में जाता था तब तो IKS था भी नहीं, तब जब जाता था हमें मतलब हमें एक जोक सुनाया जाता था कि बहुत लोग गए विदेश, एक से पूछा गया तुम्हारे देश का क्या है, तो चाइना ने अपने देश का एक बहुत बड़ी चीज बता दी, दूसरे ने अपने देश का बता दिया, भारत को पूछा तो मुझे पता नहीं। अच्छा भगवत गीता में हमारे पास भगवत गीता है, बोला उसने, ठीक है भगवत गीता में क्या है, नहीं वो मुझे नहीं पता, भगवत गीता है हमारे पास। ये सिचुएशन है हमारे, वी डोंट हैव आवर ओन आइडेंटिटी। आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस से बाहर आने के लिए फर्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, दूसरा हम लोग 4 बोलते हैं, एक तो आइडेंटिटी, और एक विजडम, जो जैसे कि आपने बोला पुराना विजडम हमें चाहिए। इकोनॉमिक दृष्टि से भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि हम लोगों का क्या हुआ, 2 एग्जांपल्स यूजुअली हम देते हैं, नीम और टर्मरिक। नीम का पेटेंट वो ले गए, हम लोग कुछ नहीं कर पाए, जबकि नीम हमारे घर में रोज यूज करते हैं। तो इकोनॉमिकली हम अब पैसा नीम का जो भी बनाते हैं उनको पैसा देते हैं। टर्मरिक का, लकीली टर्मरिक का हम ले आए। ऐसे बहुत चीजें हैं जिसका हम पेटेंट कर सकते हैं और इकोनॉमिकली हम स्ट्रांग हो सकते हैं। ये एक बेनिफिट। Wisdom, passing on the wisdom. Yes, value system. Yes, value part is yes.
So, this is a little bit subject oriented. I belong to HR fraternity. I used to teach human resource management and organizational behavior. So, as the session is discussing about the fundamental and scope of Indian knowledge system. So, how do you link the subject like people management, all the criteria with the Indian knowledge system, so that I can give the insights during my teaching inside the classroom? Such like little bit a few fundamentals so that I'll make a linkage in between.
Maybe I will suggest the book which you can read.
Okay, yeah,
that might help you.
Definitely.
So there are in Kautilya's Arthashastra, if you can go to 5th Adhikarana, in 5th Adhikarana there is a chapter called Anujivi Vrittam. There are two Adhikaranas. One is second Adhikarana and 5th Adhikarana. Second Adhikarana full you can see. You will see how Chanakya speaks.
Is this in Sanskrit or
No, English. It's their English translation. Go with R.P. Kangle's translation. It's a very good translation. You can go with that, second volume of the book. And there, third Adhikarana deals with different types of people and how Raja should, or the head of that department should take care of those people. That discussion, I hope that is what HR means.
One exercise I just came across during the management students, they done Durga. That was wonderful. They have the seven principles that I came across the last lot, I think. Yes, that's wonderful.
And 5th Adhikarana, third chapter is something which is related to followership. We management people always speak about leadership. Nobody speaks about followership. Everyone cannot be the leader. Somebody has to be follower. If there is a follower, there will be a leader. So this is a sambandha which is mutual. If there is no follower, whom will we call the leader? So,
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any other questions? Anyone? Before I hand over the mic to sir, it takes a lot of time for the mic to come from that bench. So I'll just say.
Just a continuation of Sa's idea that
yes.
what he was proposing. Actually, ये जो चीज पूरा हुआ, सर जो बता रहे थे, ये out of confusion हुआ कि we started forgetting our tradition because we got confused.
Correct.
And the West came and they started making a narrative which made us confused because we subscribed to that narrative.
Yes.
Okay. So this is our fault, and it is I should say it is a systemic generational error that we made for some thousands of years. Starting with the Phoenicians, Mughals, and whatnot. Every time we got colonized. Okay, so but we were not a dark civilization. India is never a dark civilization. And what happened? We got confused. Okay, and is the Indian knowledge system to just get clarification of that confusion, or it is just to make some edification of our own mistakes? Is it so?
No, as I said, there are 4 things which we are looking into. One is
the Bharat sir, last question of the second part of this question, where you will put this Indian medicine system? In Indian medicine system,
where you will
is there a battle going on between the Western medicine or the Western knowledge system or the Indian knowledge system?
No.
Or it is like they are okay with that and we need to be okay with ourselves? Because when Louis Pasteur started talking about the germ theory, and you were talking about this biomedicine and all, antibiotics. Yeah, antibiotics is always bad for the biotic system, and our body is a biotic system. and we got confused and we replaced our medicine system with the antibiotics.
True.
Okay, and antibiotics is never, I cannot say that antibiotics is always a good like gift to the humanity or the gift to the civilization. We can never say, because they made it because they will just make a business out of that. Okay, and the Western medicine just came into Indian market because they found Indian market as a big market where they can sell. Okay, so that way it came to Indian market, and we started accepting that, and we left our neem patta and this haldi and all, because they created the chemical analogy of the very thing that we were using. Okay, and they started making a market out of that. Okay, so my question is like, how you will see this Indian medicine system in this context? Like, should we replace the Western medicine with the Indian medicine, or we will just go with Indian medicine in parallel to the Western medicine, because that is also required, because culture does not have any boundary, it is always fluid. If medicine is a part of the cultural system of the West, then probably it has entered into Indian market with some purpose, and we have to accept it. Okay, and Indian, like if we are just promoting Indian knowledge system in the West, then they should accept it, because it is a very mutual understanding between the East and the West, and we are no longer living in the binaries. Rather, we are just crossing the binary and creating a knowledge which is the mixture of both. Okay, so in that context, आपका मतलब जो Indian knowledge system में कहाँ रहेगा हमारा medicine? Will we replace the the Western medicine with the Indian medicine, or we will accept?
No,
Or
we
we
are
should?
not. Okay. May I start?
Okay.
We are not replacing anything. We are saying integrated medicine system. We are speaking about the term called we are not replacing anything with Indian. We are saying let us integrate things. When we are saying Indian knowledge, that's what I said. The biggest mistake which is happening, we are showing Indian knowledge system as oil in water, which is separating our system with the things. I am saying again and again that we are trying to mix Indian knowledge system with the water in a way that salt is getting mixed. पता ही नहीं चलना चाहिए इसमें है. वो तो करेगा ही. तो हमें ये प्रयास करना है कि एटलीस्ट इंडिया में हम लोग इंटीग्रेटेड मेडिसिन का प्रयास तो करें. हम लोग ये नहीं कर सकते कि निकाल देंगे तो प्रॉब्लम होगा. क्या सडनली एक्सीडेंट हो जाता है किसी का, हाँ वो चल रहा है अभी. पहले इंडिया में तो कर लेते हैं. I'm not. हाँ, तो उसके लिए वही तो कर रहे हैं हम. उनका सवाल है, हम एजुकेशन से स्टार्ट करके फिर मर्जिंग की तरफ जा रहे हैं, पर उसके लिए स्टेप्स लगेंगे. अभी तो हम बेबी स्टेप्स ले रहे हैं. अगर एक ही दिन में सब करने लगे तो बहुत बड़ा हैजार्ड हो रहा है. अभी हमने एक्सपीरियंस किया, हम बाहर जा रहे हैं, लोग एक दिन में अर्थशास्त्र पढ़ाने जा रहा हूं बोल के जा रहे हैं, ब्लंडर्स कर रहे हैं. हम लोग बार बार लोगों को समझा रहे हैं स्लो एंड स्टडी करो, टाइम लगेगा. सर मैं खत्म कर देता हूं सर. वो भी नहीं सर, आप सुनते ही नहीं है. तो प्रयास हमसे ही करना है और होगा, क्योंकि मैं जाके हर जगह बोलूंगा आयुर्वेद करो, कोई नहीं करेगा. वी हैव टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम आवर ओन. जो हम बोलते हैं वो अगर हम ऐसे, इसलिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ इट्स अ लाइफस्टाइल. इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम बोलने से नहीं होगा, हमें खुद प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ेगा. Just I'm sorry, I'm giving my own example, but for this, when I teach one course called Indian Perspective on Health and Lifestyle Management. मुझे वो कोर्स पढ़ाना था 6 महीने बाद. मुझे एक महाराष्ट्र की कहानी याद आती है, रामदास महाराज की. जिसमें वो बोलते हैं एक लड़के को लेकर एक माताजी उनके पास आती है स्वामी जी के पास और ला के बोलती है मेरा बेटा बहुत गुड़ खाता है, स्वामी जी इसको बोलिए कि गुड़ खाना छोड़ दे। तो स्वामी जी बोलते हैं 1 सप्ताह बाद आओ। 1 सप्ताह बाद बच्चे को वापस लेके आती है तो स्वामी जी बच्चे से बोलते हैं बच्चे गुड़ खाना छोड़ दे। अरे यही तो बोलना था, तो 1 सप्ताह पहले बोल देते स्वामी जी, अब क्या बोल रहे हैं? अरे 1 सप्ताह पहले बोलने के लिए मैं खुद भी गुड़ बहुत खाता था, मुझे गुड़ खाने की प्रैक्टिस इतनी बुरी आदत थी गुड़ खाने की, मैं बच्चे को कैसे बोलता कि गुड़ मत खाओ। मैं 1 सप्ताह से गुड़ नहीं खाया, मैंने छोड़ दिया गुड़ खाना, अब मैं बोलने के लिए अधिकारी हूं। तो मैंने भी ये कहानी सुनी थी, इसलिए 6 महीने मेरे पूरा आयुर्वेदिक प्रैक्टिस किया लाइफस्टाइल का। जब मुझे लगा कि मैं जो बोल रहा हूं उससे मेरा फायदा हो रहा है तो मैं बच्चे को बोलूंगा। तो मैं जो प्रैक्टिस मैं करता था वो उनको बोल के उनसे करवाता था और बच्चों में भी वो रिफ्लेक्शंस दिखा, वो करने लगे। उनमें से 30% बच्चे जो कर रहे थे उन्होंने जाके, मैंने सुना, डीन को बोला था कि सर इस कोर्स से हमें बहुत फायदा हुआ, वी आर हेल्दी नाउ। तो प्रैक्टिस खुद करेंगे तो धीरे धीरे हम दूसरों में ला सकते हैं। और जब इसकी बात होती है कि आयुर्वेदिक सिस्टम इसको ऊपर ले जाएगा, एक तो क्या है कि हम लोग सिर्फ इतने में नहीं बैठ सकते कि हमारे पूर्वजों ने हमें दिया है हम उसको पालन करेंगे, उसके आगे का रिसर्च हमें करना पड़ेगा। सिर्फ इतने हर्ब्स दे दिए तो हम इसी पे आयुर्वेद कंटिन्यू करेंगे, नहीं। वी हैव टू डू मोर रिसर्च जिससे कि एंटीबायोटिक के समतुल्य ऐसा हर्बल कोई आ जाए जो हमें एक्सीडेंट्स हो जाए कहीं सडनली तो हम उस मेडिसिन को देके उस बैक्टीरिया को स्लो कर सके, पर उसका रिसर्च करना पड़ेगा। तब तक तो हमें भाई एंटीबायोटिक लेना ही पड़ेगा जब कोई बड़े कंडीशंस आ जाए। मैं एंटीबायोटिक को बून कब बोलता हूं? जब ये बड़े कंडीशंस आते हैं, जब यू हैव नो आयुर्वेदिक मेडिसिन टू, उस एंटीबायोटिक को मारने के लिए आयुर्वेदिक मेडिसिन नहीं है, होम्योपैथी भी नहीं है, तो ऐसे सिचुएशन में हमें लेना पड़ेगा। तब उसके लिए प्रॉब्लम ये हो रहा है कि हमारे यहाँ उस तरह का रिसर्च भी नहीं हो रहा है कि हम लोग ऐसे एंटीबायोटिक के तुल्य एक कोई हेल्दी कोई मेडिसिन ले आए। तो उस पे काम होना है। वी कैन नॉट जस्ट से टेक द विजडम एंड सिट ऑन दैट विजडम, उसकी पूजा करें, आरती उतारें, उसके कुमकुम डाल के उसको, ये हम नहीं कर सकते। हमें उसके आगे का रिसर्च करना है। तो रिसर्च की जब बात हो रही है तो मैं इस तरह के रिसर्च करने हैं जिससे कि हम न्यू कॉन्सेप्ट्स और ला सकें जो हम दुनिया को दे सके। न्यू मेडिसिन की बात होती है तो मेडिसिन ला सके न्यू, या अगर सोशल थियरी की बात करते हैं, भारतीय राजनीति दर्शन, अगर हम ऐसा कोई राजनीति दर्शन दे सकें जिससे कि समाज में कुछ शांति हो, हर रोज का ये झगड़ा बंद हो जाए, हम लोगों को नेबर्स के साथ झगड़ा बंद, ऐसा कुछ अगर कर सकते हैं, दैट विल बी सम न्यू कंट्रीब्यूशन फ्रॉम इंडिया। सो उस कंट्रीब्यूशन को देखते हुए उसके बेसिस पे क्या हम न्यू दे सकते हैं, इस पे काम करना, ये रिसर्चर्स हम लोगों का काम होगा। पर इसके लिए बहुत प्रयास लगेगा। वी हैव टू फर्स्ट डिग इनटू दैट, क्योंकि पहले क्या दिया हुआ है उसे समझना पड़ेगा जो है, फिर नया क्रिएट करना पड़ेगा। तो वी विल ट्राई, क्योंकि प्रयास तो बहुत करना पड़ेगा। जस्ट बोलने से कि आईकेएस इंटीग्रेट कर रहे हैं हम, बोलने से काम नहीं चलेगा। वी हैव टू वर्क इन दिस एरिया। रिसर्च उस दृष्टि से अगर करेंगे तो ज्यादा आउटपुट हम दे पाएंगे। हाँ, हम
Hello, sir. My name is Lakshmi, and I am a student of BSc Psychology from Rishi University. And my question was, so today I learnt about the Klesha Prakriti and Kala Desha and Prakriti. And in psychology, it is seen that in India, the Western concepts are taught, and the focus is more on the research done in Western countries. And even the same thing is applied here, like counseling. But now mental health is also the awareness about mental health is increasing, but at the same time in India, especially, the Western concepts, theories, and how to deal with mental disorders and illness is being applied in India and Eastern countries also. So I would like to know your insight and like how, as in right now we can see there is counseling as a type of therapy, and there's also mindfulness and meditation, which is being used
So
for.
what is your question?
So my question was, like, what do you think about this?
What
And
do
you
thi-
just spoke about the multiple perspective also, right? So yeah.
Maybe you are the best person to answer.
Okay, it's not also a area where I'm an expert in, but yes, because of interacting with students and maybe a practitioner of yoga, I may have some kind of experience to share. So see, again, the broader framework over here is not to have a fight between one certain education system or knowledge system and another knowledge system. Okay, both of them look at the same object in a different perspective and come up with activities or theories to handle it differently. ठीक है? So इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम, अगर जैसे सर ने कहा था, अगर हम इंटीग्रेट कर पाए किसी चीज को तो बहुत अच्छा है. लेट्स से somebody is in a very bad mental state beyond our control, so maybe a medicine, an allopathic medicine also, just to calm him down or make him sleep at that moment helps maybe. And thereafter, if you want to have a long-term therapy practice through mindfulness, through Ayurveda or something, we can have. So if we can have an integrated approach, good. But as far as counseling is concerned, the two approaches are very different. The way they look at mind, the way they look at body is very different. So as a young researcher, you can just start by comparing both of them. See where there is a synergy, where there is a mapping possible. See where there is a total black and white available. Why this black and white? Is it because something is actually white, or is because they are seeing it white? So see that. Okay, so it's a very good stage of your career where you can see the mapping, both the sets, how they are disjoint, how they are interjoined, how they can be connected, wholehearted mapping, simple mapping, or no complete mapping. यहाँ पे कोई देखना. But हाँ, maybe over the period of time with certain experience, you can come up with a integrated approach to solve a problem. But there are any school of thought will have two types of people: purist and the non-purist. Purist जो बोलेगा, जैसे सर कह रहे थे, ये है मतलब ये है, मतलब ये इसके बाहर नहीं जाना है. मेरा आयुर्वेदिक अप्रोच मतलब मेरा आयुर्वेदिक अप्रोच, इसके बाहर का मैं एक भी नहीं करूंगा. देयर आर प्यूरिस्ट, देन देयर आर नॉन प्यूरिस्ट. सो यू डिसाइड व्हाट सूट्स बेस्ट फॉर यू. वी कैन हैव द बेस्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, हम उसके साथ जा सकते हैं. ओके, दैट्स माय थॉट ऑन इट एंड इट वर्क्स वेल. सेम विद नॉर्मल एजुकेशन सिस्टम आल्सो. दोनों का, जैसे सर ने कहा, दोनों का बेस्ट ले लेंगे. अगर नॉलेज को हम समझेंगे तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. ऑफ कोर्स देयर इज अ नीड फॉर अस टू पुश certain aspects of Indian knowledge system because it is rare and unique to us. जैसे कि योगा philosophy वगैरह आप लेते हो, उसके साथ आप जा सकते हो. तो again, to shorten the answer, study this, see where they are mapping, see where there is no mapping, why there is no mapping, ask and practice, see if you could be able to come up with something new or interesting. Okay, थोड़ा ज़्यादा काम है but करना पड़ेगा. Yes. So I keep telling all my students, right, and especially who belong to some kind of physics background, सत्व रज तमस को आप ले लो एक तरीके पे और फिजिक्स की तरफ आ जाओ और फिजिक्स का देखो whether it is isothermous, diathermous, monothermous जो body है, see what is the relation between them. Now you are looking at body from the capacity to absorb or emit heat and other radiation. Looking at sattva, rajas, tamas from this capacity of behavior. See if there is a mapping. See, there can be a mapping. Now we can, if we need people like you who could talk both the languages. Because when you are able to talk both the languages, you will be at a better position to make the world understand what you are talking, not just getting restricted to the language. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, we have a course, and we have a course called as we have a course in management this time, which is called as Management Through Upanishads. So we want you over there. It's like openly I'm saying, because we need some people. We are looking out for people who could touch. Acha, by the way, just to tell, we have integrated certain aspects of Indian knowledge system in our MBA curriculum. We have Natya Shastra, we have Yoga Sutra, we have Niti Shastra, we have Artha Shastra, we have Bhagavad Gita, we have Sundarkand. We also have Upanishad. So if you are available, I would definitely want you to have come here and tell students what are the concept of Upanishad. I guarantee you that in return they will be able to map it with the modern management requirement, and both ways we will be able to enrich the knowledge that we have. Okay, so that's an open request to all of you who are actually having the knowledge of the Shastras. Please come and see if there is a mapping possible over here. Okay, any other questions? Our cameramen they need to rush to cover more important persons. Some MLAs and MPs are here in town. So, sir, one few concluding part from your side, then.
There's nothing such called concluding because we are starting now. But my humble request that we are in the era where we can really contribute towards our nation through the knowledge which we have, either at least understanding what is there in our knowledge. Next step, if we know what is our knowledge, let's accept that this we have a very powerful knowledge and understand that. Then the most important part, let's do something new from this knowledge, not just sitting on that knowledge. Mahadevanji always used to tell one story. There was one beggar who was sitting on a big box which was locked. He never opened that lock, saying that क्या होगा इसमें, वही मैं भिखारी हूं, मेरा बाप भिखारी था, तो इसके अंदर भिखारी के कपड़े ही तो होंगे, और क्या होगा, मैं क्यों खोलूं. But then once as time passed, he died, and somebody tried to open that box. When it was opened, it was full of jewels. So using this box which is hidden, let us open this box and let's create new jewels, not just rely on those jewels which is already there. Some jewels might have been gone. Let's reuse it, bring the new design to that jewel. Let's take this Indian knowledge to the globe, and let us show the Indian knowledge that it is not mere for India, but it is for the globe. Let's try to make that through our research, through our studies. Thank you. Yes, exactly. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. It was really very healthy discussion, and I like this discussion very much. Lot of knowledge I gained, and I will take this knowledge another place, because whatever we get, we take it another. Thank you.
So yeah, thank you so much, sir. So I'll start with you first. So thank you first of all to accept this invitation. This was not a formal invitation sent to him, and it was very grateful and gracious of you to accept it at the last moment. Just 2 days back, I just asked him whether it's possible for you to interact with our faculty members and researchers, and he said that why not? I would love to do it, but try करना कि ये one way ट्रैफिक नहीं हो, सिर्फ मैं बोलूं अब लोग सुने, ऐसा मैं नहीं चाहता. अगर डिस्कशन हो पाए तो मुझे अच्छा लगेगा. एंड second part is to you. So I think thank you so much for all of you, and especially sir who have come from the Sanskrit department and all, for making this more lively, for this interaction. Trust me, it's been 3 years for me in this university. Very rarely I get a chance to see or witness such healthy discussions around knowledge based discussion. Very rarely, and most of you may agree with this. It feels good. We should have our own viewpoints. We should be able to listen to others viewpoint. We should be able to come up with the good manthan, as sir said, a good sagar manthan is कि उसके बाद ऐसे लगे कि कुछ नया गया, कुछ मेरा गया, कुछ सामने से मिला, और कुछ रिफ्रेशिंग सा फील हुआ माइंड को भी और बॉडी को भी. I feel that you can carry that feeling today, and I just maybe we can put this as a prospect for the future, in case we can meet once in 15 days or 1 month, just as a club or as a team, not formally but informal, because informal discussions are more healthier and more productive. So if we can do that, students, teachers, faculty, all together within the classroom, outside somewhere, we can talk, and let's talk about something. Let's see how well we can energize ourselves, enrich ourselves with respect to this knowledge. Okay, just a prospect we might be open to also. Sir, thank you so much once again. We'll keep on inviting you, whether it is online or offline. I forgot to mention formally he is someone who has degrees in Sanskrit, in Ayurveda, in homeopathy, and he's also a practitioner homeopathy. He's somebody who is authorized to give medicines in homeopathy. Also, he has completed the degree Jyotish Shastra. He's somebody who belongs to Jyotish Shastra also. And finally, उनको लगा कि काफी नहीं हुआ, इसके लिए अर्थशास्त्र में हमको थोड़ा सा कंपटीशन दे रहे हैं. So a very nice human being, you must have noted. So sir, again, thank you so much for that. Audience, thank you so much. We expected 3-10 तक हम लोग एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे थे कि 10 लोग भी बैठ जाए तो काफी है, एक अच्छा ग्रुप फोटो बन सकता है, बट अभी थोड़ा ज्यादा बड़ा ग्रुप फोटो बन सकता है. So for that we can come to the stage. Thank you. Please come on. Yeah, thank you.